So I'm going to explain a little bit about the differences between our tennis sports chair and our everyday chair. So the main difference you're going to notice right off the bat is the angle of the wheel. So we call this camber. What we have this for is for stability. So I'm able to lean out for a shot, left or right, and that gives me a wider wheelbase, so I'm much more stable than I am in my everyday chair, which has 0 degrees of camber. And I don't want a lot of camber in my everyday chair because I need to be able to fit through doors, tight spaces while traveling. This chair obviously wouldn't fit through most average doors. So that's the first big difference you're going to notice right off the bat. Now the next big difference that you'll notice is on the back of this chair, there is nothing that prevents me from tipping over backwards. So I can do a wheelie and fall all the way over backwards. And it's much needed to be able to do that wheelie. Sometimes going up and down curbs, up and down steps, all of that. So in my tennis chair, when I turn around, you'll see here on the back that I've got the wheelie bar sticking out the back. And what that bar does is it prevents me from tipping over backwards. So now I can reach up high for a serve, lean back over my backrest, and be completely stable. So not only do I have stability side to side, I have stability frontwards and backwards in my chair. The next main difference, and this is not as drastic, you'll notice this chair has no seat belts of any size or style. This chair, I've got seat belts. And why do I have those? Because I want to be able to be locked in, right? So I use a snowboard binding. I lock myself in around my hips and then around my knees here. And now, being locked in, I'm one with the chair. So when I move, when I put on my straps and now I move, the chair will move with me much easier than if I didn't have the straps. So now when I want to turn, I can just make the littlest, subtlest movements and the chair will be willing to go with me wherever I need. So now when I lean, I'm locked in place as well. So I'm stable this way. Whereas in my everyday chair, I don't need that. I jump out of my chair a lot, get on the couch, get on the ground, sit on a beanbag. You know, I'm mobile in my everyday chair. In my tennis chair, I want to be one with the chair, and these straps allow that to happen. Part of my disability is I'm paralyzed from the chest down, and my hands are paralyzed, so I don't have great grip. My hands function at about 30% of what normal functioning hands function at. So I can't hold the racket and hit a ball at the same time. So when I hold the racket, if I were to hit the ball, the force of the ball would just knock the racket right out of my hand. So for me, I had to come up with an assistive device. I was extremely fortunate to learn from, at the time, world #1 Rick Draney, and he taught me that the trick to that is a nice roll of athletic tape. And so what I do is I get the athletic tape started. So I start around my wrist here, and I go a few times around. Now the sticky side goes down. Surprised I still have much hair left on that side. Then I grab my racket, and I choose to use an Eastern forehand. So that's the grip that I tape myself into, is an Eastern forehand. I just start pulling the tape around so that it pulls my fingers tight around the racket. Now I've got a nice grip on the racket. Now oftentimes the next question that we come into is, well, how do you push the chair when you've taped the racket to your hand? Well, I have a very sticky push rim here, and you can kind of see some of the gooze to it. But what I do now is once I have it taped in, I turn the tape around, and now the sticky side of the tape is on the outside. And now I go around again, filling in kind of some space and allowing that sticky side to stick out, which in turn, now, when I'm finished taping, allows the push rim to stick on here. So if you see it, you can see how it's so sticky on there. You can actually see it sticking. So the sticky part of the tape sticks on the push rim, and that's how I get my grip to make the chair maneuver for myself. Now, in my category, there's all kinds of disabilities that are affecting your upper body. Some people are missing an arm, some people are having limited grip on one hand but not their racket hand. So each person has their own way of doing it.